Hey y'all, I'm Tammy and welcome to my empty nest. Hey y'all, welcome to part 2 of the Christmas treats videos. We're going to start out today with these haystacks, the butterscotch haystacks, and this is all you're going to need. You're going to heat up half of a bag of butterscotch chips in the microwave. Now, this is not going to get creamy out of the microwave like chocolate chips do when you heat them up, but because they're warm, when you mix that peanut butter in there and it starts to melt the peanut butter, everything gets super, super creamy and smooth, as you can see here. And you're just going to mix this up really well. And then once you get it all mixed up, you're going to just drop in 1 can of chow mein noodles and a half a cup of peanuts. And you're just going to mix this all around until you get it really good and coated. And then once you get it all mixed up and everything is covered really well, because you want to make sure that it all has the peanut butter butterscotch mixture on there, and that way it'll hold together when it hardens up. All you got to do is drop these by the spoonful on some wax paper, and y'all, that's it. It is really that easy. And I ran out of wax paper because I didn't think I had this many, but you can make them as big or as small as you want. The next one we have is white chocolate haystacks, and these we are going to do in the crock pot. So you're going to need 2 pounds of almond bark, a cup and a half of peanuts, or a cup and a quarter of peanuts, and 2.5 cups of pretzel sticks. Now, I'm using a crock pot liner because I figured this was going to stick really bad, and I did not want to have to chisel that out of my crock pot later. The only mistake I did make, I don't use these liners very often, and I should have tucked the liner underneath the crock pot insert part because later when I try to stir them, it slips around. So just be sure you tuck that in. Then you want to spray your liner down good with some cooking spray and then just cut up your 2 pounds of almond bark and just break it up into pieces. Stick that in your crock pot, and then you're going to add your peanuts and your pretzels. Now, I did not read the instructions on this recipe, and it actually said to chop up your pecans and to break up your pretzels, but I did not do that. But they turned out just fine anyway, because when you stir them, at least the pretzels anyway, are going to break up as you stir them. And I got this off of Jennifer at Plowing Through Life, I think is where I got this recipe from. But it is super, super simple, y'all. You just dump it all in the crock pot. The only thing is, it tells you to cook it on high for about 30 to 45 minutes. Like you cook it and stir it after 30 minutes and then cook it in it for another 10 or 20 minutes. It did take mine a little bit longer. It took mine a little bit over an hour. And I don't know if it was just a difference in the crock pot or what, but just kind of watch it as you're cooking it because it may take a little longer. It may not take quite as long. So once you get everything all melted, that's it. That is literally all there is to this recipe. Get you some wax paper, and then you're just going to drop this by the spoonful on your wax paper, as big or as small as you want, just like the other haystacks that you did. And that's it, y'all. Super, super simple, and these are really good. The next thing that we're going to do is no-bake cookies. Now, these are the oatmeal chocolate peanut butter cookies. I'm not sure they have another name other than no-bake cookies. We've been making these, or my mama used to make this when we were kids. So you're going to take a stick of butter, and you're going to put it in a pan, and then you're going to take your 2 cups of sugar, and you're going to add your quarter cup of cocoa powder and half a cup of milk, and you're going to just melt that, heat it up, get it, all good and mixed up and melted. And you're going to stir this around for, once you get it, you want to bring it to a boil. Once you get it to a boil, you're going to let it boil for 1 minute, and then you're going to take it off the heat. Then you're going to add your other ingredients to it. I add the peanut butter first, and that way it just melts down into that pot liquid without kind of clumping around the oatmeal if you add that first. So just add your peanut butter, a cup of peanut butter, and then you're going to add your vanilla, a tablespoon of vanilla, and then you're just going to mix that around really good until you get that peanut butter all melted, and then you're going to add your 3 cups of oatmeal. I'm not sure it makes a difference whether it's quick cook or whatever, it's just oatmeal. So then you're just going to drop these by the spoonful on some wax paper. And that's it, y'all. Easy as that. You can let these just sit up, and they are super delicious. And it makes a ton of them, but everybody likes these. All right, coming in last, but certainly not least, we are going to be making some pralines. Now, this recipe comes from one of my good friends, Jan. So, Jan, if you're watching, let me know down in the comments how I did. So you're going to start out by adding half a stick of butter and a half a cup of evaporated milk, 1 cup of white sugar, and 1 cup of packed brown sugar. And I just mix this up good until because I should have let my butter melt a little bit more first, but I did not. So I just let this mix around a little bit till my butter got a little bit softer before I added my pecans in. So you're going to add your pecans in, and then you're just going to stir this. And I just stir it constantly because I'm always afraid everything is going to stick and burn. So just stir it, stir it, stir it. And you're going to let this come to a boil. And once it comes to a boil, the instructions say to cook it for 3 to 5 minutes. Now, I have found for mine, the way that I like mine, my sweet spot is right about the 4.5 minute mark. So once you get it to a boil and you let it boil for the amount of time that you want to, and sometimes it's trial and error, y'all. And if it's a little, you do it and it's a little loose, just cook it a little longer next time. Like if you do it 3 minutes and it's a little bit runnier than you would like when you put them on your wax paper, the next batch you make, just make them a little bit, cook them a little bit longer and they'll thicken up a little bit more. So once you get them off the heat, very quickly add your teaspoon of vanilla. And then you're going to stir this for 1 minute, not any more than 1 minute, because these are going to start to harden and they're going to start setting up. And then you're not going to be able to get them out of the pan pretty much. So I just took a little scoop and I scooped them all out on my wax paper. And that was it. Y'all, these are super delicious. You have got to give them a try.